Hey y'all, hey, we back for another review of Sisters on BET, and we just gonna jump right into it. We are on season 5, episode 15, entitled Dead to Rights. Alright, so we in the last episode we left off where Gary and Robin were sitting in Andy's living room because Robin showed up while Gary was supposed to be birthday suit naked upon Andy's arrival from wherever she was at. Alright. So we're back at Andy's, and Gary and Robin are sitting in the living room, and Robin said that he called her, but she didn't answer. So he decided to come by. Strike one, because if I don't answer, that doesn't give you permission. But we're gonna let that alone. And so Gary saw him downstairs in the lobby and decided to go ahead and invite him up. And so he came by because he had something really important to say. He knew that he could help Sabrina, and it was urgent, so he decided to come by. Fair enough. We'll let that be what it's gonna be. If I wasn't answering calls, you send me a text or a voice note. Again, you still don't just pop by my house, but we're gonna let you have it. All right. So Gary wants to know what businesses y'all got this time of night over at your place. First of all, Gary, you don't live here, so you asking a whole lot of questions just to be a piece of meat to service what Andy needs for you to do. You asking a whole lot of husband type questions, and that's not your particular role. You didn't subscribe to that package, sir. So I need you to relax. Anyway, he's kind of getting his feelings a little bit. Gary wants to talk to Andy wants to talk to Robin in private, and Gary just seems a little upset at the fact that she would even fathom asking him to go into the bedroom while she talks to Robin. Yeah, go in the room and let me talk to Robin because it seems important. He doesn't, and it's because, this is my assumption, it's because Andy doesn't want to tell him that it's because he can help me get Sabrina out of jail, because that's not your business. I'm trying to help my homegirl get it together, and you just need to go in the room until I tell you to come out, essentially. All right. So he obliges or whatever, but we all know he gonna eavesdrop behind the door to see exactly what they're talking about. Duh, because shit, I do the same thing. Anyway, he can get Sabrina out in the morning, but he needs the judge to make a decision on bail. Now, if she makes a decision on bail, it's going to be really expensive. Bail to get Sabrina out of jail is going to be about $3 million. And for me, girl, keep your head up. Like, power to the people. $3 million is the bail, and that's only because the prosecutor is still being a asswipe to Andy. So we just have to deal with it because that's what we have to. That's what we got to deal with at this point. And so she knows that she can't pull off $3 million by tomorrow, and Robin tells her, like, hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The only thing I can do is try to get it reduced, but I can't make no promises. So in the event, we're going to have to come up with this $3 million. And she asks him, like, hey, if I can't come up with the $3 million by tomorrow, can I borrow it from you? I mean, if you were able to set it up, set it up. It seems very soon off the heels of him insulting you, with everything else that you said last episode, but for the greater good, I guess. And he's like, okay, how much can you actually come up with by tomorrow? And she says, about half. So she can come up with 1.5, and, hopefully he can come up with the rest. And he was like, okay, cool. I'm willing to do this, but are you 100% sure that she's innocent? And he's afraid that Sabrina may run, which is a legitimate concern. $1.5 million. I don't care how many other billions of dollars you have. 1.5 is a lot to put at stake for somebody that you do not know. He doesn't have a pre-existing relationship with Sabrina like Andy. So I understand that's your homegirl, but is she gonna waste my goddamn money? Is what it's a legitimate question to ask. And of course, we know. Andy knows, everybody knows, like, this ain't Sabrina. She would never do nothing like this. And again, he's wondering, is she a flight risk? And no, she's good. She would never do that. I personally will make sure that she gets to court. All right, cool. And he's like, okay, cool. Like, if I give you the loan, how are you going to pay me back? And she says, hey, when we go to court, they refund bail. So, it's kind of a win-win, essentially. And so he's gonna give her the loan. He's gonna let her borrow the money just solely based off her word, and her promise that she's gonna make sure that Sabrina gets to court. So we squared that away, and Sabrina's gonna be out today. All right. So Robin apologizes profusely for, barging in on her, showing up unannounced, and he leaves. Gary comes out of the room, and he has decided that he's going to get naked as instructed previously, because he whatever he eavesdropped on has been enough to settle his jealousy. It's been enough to settle his spirit, right? And so he comes out naked, and something about the conversation that he eavesdropped on has soothed his wrath that he had when he walked in that room. And he claims like he's not worried about Robin, and he's ready to get back to grown folks' business. All right, cool. So I guess the conversation gave him enough information to know, like, hey, he's here to help her friend do something. He ain't here for her, so we're good to go. All right, moving right along. If y'all see this cup, it's Friday. It's been a long week. I'm gonna just mind my business. All right. So, Danny and Preston. Danny wakes up early. Well, Danny wakes up. They both wake up, but Preston knows that Danny has woke up early to do her hair and her makeup before he got up. Which, girl, that's a whole lot of goddamn effort for somebody that you plan on being with in the long haul, considering he's probably just forgotten about that girl who's about to propose to. I'm not gonna be able to get up before you set my alarm, get up before you do my hair and makeup before you wake up. If you have a problem with these eye boogers, this drool dried up on the side of my face, these titties hanging behind my back because it's hanging up wrong, that's your problem, sir. But I'm not gonna get up and put all that together so you can wake up to a glowing beauty, because it's just, I don't have the capacity. But it's Tyler Perry land, and we're gonna go with it. All right, so she admits that she sleeps better when she is with him. Now, while that sounds cute and magical and all that, I think it's more of she a little afraid because it's fresh off the heels of Jonah monkey stuff on her ass. But y'all let me know what y'all think. But that's what I think. And now she's acting all shy and, trying to get dressed under the covers. And he's like, Danny, it's a little late for that. Like, I didn't see everything. You know what I mean? So it's not much to hide. And she asked him, can you stay here while I'm at work? And it was nice having you here last night. And she's still, kind of uneasy, trying to get back into the swing of her and him as an item. And he asked her, like, since I am here, what happened in the apartment? Now, the apartment is disheveled from the assault / violence that took place with Jonah not that long ago, right? And so he's looking around, he's like, what happened to the apartment? She's like, oh, I redecorated, just kind of blowing it over and not giving him the exact answers. And now he's thinking, like, he doesn't know, like, what has happened, that this whole apartment is in disarray, but he's gonna try to escape because he don't know what he's walking into. Fair. That's definitely fair, and that's definitely safe, because you don't know if it was another dude. You don't know what has this place in disarray. You haven't gotten a legitimate answer. So that's fair, but she convinces him to stay, and he goes into the bathroom, and she finds a ring in his pants pocket. Now, my assumption is that is the ring that he was going to give old girl when he went back home, but he never got around to giving it to her, which, again, does not give me fairy tale. It gives me settling, but what the hell do I know? Y'all let me know what y'all think. All right, moving right along. Fatima and Zach. He tells her, that he ran into Hayden on the basketball court, and Bryce said talks about whatever Hayden was rubbing in his face. But he says that, I'm not worried about it because my homeboy Bryce, which Bryce is his homeboy in the Fatima spinoff series of this thing. So his homeboy Bryce said, he knew an attorney that could potentially help him. And since we're here and we're talking or whatever, why don't you wear your engagement ring to work? Now, mind you, Deja, again from over in the Zatima series, brought it to his attention that, yeah, y'all engaged, but she ain't acting engaged because she don't wear her ring when she in and out of here going to work. So now it's on his mind and he has to ask her. And she reminds him, she tells him, like, listen, it's too soon. I don't want anyone to know about it. Like, I don't want her friends in it. She doesn't need to know yet because Karen is her friend and things are still fresh. Considerate, understandable, but not your cross to bear. But I understand where you're coming from, and not wanting to keep the drama going. But Karen just gonna have to get over it and move on, because, girl, Erin has been spending the night for quite some time at this point. So she would have had to get over it had it been me, essentially. All right. So she was like, listen, but she also is thinking about it from the perspective of, If this baby is indeed yours, if Karen sees an engagement ring, that could send her back into this tailspin of not being over you and her trying to come take you for everything you got, with this baby being yours, potentially. Again, that's wise. That makes sense. Financially, she's thinking ahead of the curve. So I'm not mad at her about that. All right. And she was like, listen, let's just at least get through the paternity results. Once we get through the paternity results, then I assure you, I'm not leaving. We can scream it from the rooftops, but let's just cross that hurdle in the meantime. Let's just let's cross that bridge, and then we'll go from there. Which is fair. You have no rebuttal from that, because it only makes logical sense. All right. Karen and Aaron. Speaking of Karen, they're over there eating breakfast. Nobody went to the salon last night to check. He was able to soothe her suspicions, but she's going to go by the salon today before going to the doctor's appointment, just to be sure, because something about Pam, having that man in there and insisting that she locked up ain't sitting right in her spirit. So they exchange I love yous and go about their day, and they're going to reconvene later on this evening. So, they settling in together, which you ain't got no business being mad at Zach, because, again, you got to live in situation too. So you claim you've moved on. You claim the letter that your mom had y'all right settled your spirit. So you should be good to move on. But I don't know, girl. I don't know. One minor thing. Karen is always on the edge of a total breakdown. She's always one minor incident away from losing her shit. So Fatima, again, logical, make very logical sense, because whatever, it's Karen. She calls Andy. Karen calls Andy for an update on Sabrina, and she tells her listen, I didn't tell you, but she's getting out today. Robin has helped me out, so we're gonna meet up later and go from there to get our girl squared away, because she's gonna be fresh out of lockup. And then Gary gets out the shower, and he seems to be on cloud nine, just la-di-da-di-da, because he ain't worried about Robin. He got a takeover coming over that's going to maybe put Robin out of business, get him from under the company, so he's really not a threat to him no more. He's just on cloud nine. And then he wants to gloat about the fact that he remained calm about Robin being there by saying to Andy, hey, did you see how cool I was about Robin? You being an adult and being mature and maintaining your emotions, do you think that's something that I need to give you a hand clap of praise for, when you have continually demonstrated that you are incapable of doing so? So out of a million times, this is the first incident that you have decided to maintain your emotions, and you want me to give you a hand clap of praise because that's what you do as an adult. Okay, sure. But anyway, he was proud about it. His chest was poked out about it. Oh, did you see how cool I was about Robin? And he realized that Robin isn't an actual threat to him. Because hell, he might not be with the company much longer. And Andy's like, well, what you mean by that? What you mean I be with the company much longer? He was like, yeah, have you ever heard of a hostile takeover? And she was like, what does that mean? And of course he, kind of backs down a little bit and doesn't really give her much more information about what he has going on. Although Andy has already seen the paperwork in his pocket that's showing basically him and Hayden are going to try to snatch the company from under Robin by some nefarious means. So Andy's going to be in a dilemma in deciding who to look out for in this situation. It can see it a mile away. Who is she going to be? Is she going to be on Gary's side, or is she going to look out for Robin's best interest? If it were me, Gary, holding in the road, my guy, you messing up my money, you messing up potential relationships, network, you messing up a whole lot for me, and you just a little piece of ass. So you gotta go. It would be Gary over Robin if it were me. But Andy is a little bit more, butterflies in the eyes, love, happiness, potential marriage, all that other shit, all that. She'll be willing to give it all up, because she's still kind of googly-eyed when it comes to Gary. All right. Okay, Pam gets to the shop first, and she's looking around, and she realizes that she left the curler on. Now, I was willing to bet, again, just because this is the TP production, I was willing to bet that the ship was going to be on fire and burnt to a crisp by the time everybody had got there tomorrow, but that didn't happen. But she did realize that she had left a curler on, and then she's talking to herself, and she was like, "Ooh, Karen would have killed me had she realized I had left this on." At the exact moment, Karen walks in, and she was like, "What you doing? What you doing, Pam?" And Pam tries to act like she had just turned the iron on, as opposed to leaving it on all night. Girl, a simple tap or any other way to gauge temperature would tell you that this wasn't just cut on. It's been on for a while because it's hot. If you just turn it on, it would not be hot. Duh, that was the dumbest lie I heard this season. Anyway, Karen is mad that because she could have burned her business down, and she tells Pam like, "Hey, this it for me. This all I got. So had you burned my shit down, like we would be in a different type of conversation." And so Pam's like, "Girl, you need to calm down. Like, I've been holding it down thus far. I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm gonna send you a video of me closing up every night so you can be comfortable." And she was like, "Listen, I've been asking you to do that. Had you done that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But whatever, girl." And Pam threats to call her mama, and she was like, "Listen, you snitch on me, I'm snitching on you, because you gonna tell my mama I'm in the shop even though I ain't supposed to be, and I'm gonna tell her you almost burnt the shit down. So do you want to go down with the ship or no?" Essentially is what Karen is asking Pam. So she was like, touche, my nigga, you right. So we just gonna wash it from here and just move forward. All right. So Danny and Andy are already at the courthouse, and Andy is in the closed proceedings to see what's going to happen, in the fate of Sabrina. If she's going to make bail, when, why, how, and for how much. So they were able to get bail, and, Sabrina's about to be let loose or whatever, and the prosecutor comes sashaying up with his nasty ass attitude. And he's like, "You got some powerful friends." And yes, she does have powerful friends. Of course, you didn't think the little black girl had powerful friends that could overthrow you or bypass you altogether and go to your boss. Yes, she has some very powerful people, and that should be a cautionary tale for you to get your shit together. But in true white man fashion, you gonna go until the wheels fall off, because it's more about principality than actual ethics at this stage of the game. Even though, don't y'all take an oath of office or some type of ethics clause or something like that as a lawyer? Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. All right, so he's still on this thing about, "Oh, you got some powerful people on your team, but I'm still gonna get her. She needs to go to prison." And Andy's asking him like, does it not matter that she's innocent? And he gonna ask her, "Oh, did it not matter that my wife was awful? Like, she was a B word?" In that moment, I just solidified, like, he cannot separate the two. Anytime he sees, thinks, breathes anything Andy, it is going to be in relation to his wife. He's not going to be able to separate the two, because he's just pissed about his alimony, and that's just going to ruin the rest of this working relationship between him and Andy. So it's no talking to him unless somebody like Madam gets involved in this situation. All right, so we're waiting on Sabrina to get processed out, and Andy asked Danny about, like, what would you do in a situation where you knew somebody was trying to do something bad to somebody else that you knew, but you didn't want to say anything. So basically, she was asking Danny, like, what would you do about the hostile takeover situation with Gary Hayden against Robin, without actually saying that. And Danny not slow. She definitely automatically knew that it was something having to do with Gary. And she was like, "Well, since you don't want to give me the details, I can't really give you proper advice. All I can tell you to do is do what you know you need to do." Essentially, like, girl, just follow your heart, girl, because I don't really know the key players. I don't really know what I'm advising you on. Just, hell, do what you want to do, and we'll go from there. Which, good advice, but I don't know the details, the specifics, I don't know nothing about it. You just asking me this vague ass question cloaked in, I don't want to tell you my business. So, hell, do what you think is best, right? That's always some safe advice. Sure. All right. So the prosecutor goes to Maurice. Now he realizes he's kind of lost his grip on Sabrina. He's lost his grip on Andy. So he needs to try another approach. And he plays the tape that Q made, which was obviously a joke and sarcasm. And we know that, like Maurice tells him, like, Q is a hustler, and he lied to y'all, and I want a lawyer. I ain't talking no more until I get a lawyer. And he's like, listen, the prosecutor's like, listen, I know you innocent. He's like, if you know I'm innocent, why in the hell am I here? Let me go home. And he was like, listen, I intend on nailing Sabrina for this thing as the mastermind. And so I want you to testify against Sabrina and I'll let you walk, like no time. And Marcus is like, no, I never do that to my friend. Why the hell would I do that? And he's basically holding a potential 30 years over his head. And Marcus is sticking his guns. And he's like, listen, it's either you or her. Like, if you want to sell her out, cool. You can walk away scot-free, no problems, no nothing. You want to fight for her, you can go down with her. So they're doing that little pressure thing that cops do to get confessions out of innocent people, or, you know, things that they do to people like I'm not gonna call names, for people that they want a conviction so bad, innocent goes off the table in a lot of these cases. It don't really matter if the person's actually innocent. They want somebody to go down for this crime, and whoever they decide to set their sights on is whoever they're gonna build the case around. And that is what this prosecutor is doing to Sabrina, essentially. All right, so Andy and Danny get a call. They call Karen and say, hey, we're going to the courthouse to get Sabrina. We're going to the jail to get Sabrina, so we're not going to make your 12 o'clock meeting. And we're not going to be able to make your 12 o'clock doctor's appointment. I'm sorry, 12 o'clock doctor's appointment. So you go ahead and go to the doctor's appointment, but don't get the answer on who that baby's daddy is until we get there. So that is what we're going to do. Sabrina is released at the same time, and of course they have an emotional moment, and they surround her in support and, you know, comfort at this time, because this has been a traumatic ordeal for her. And in my notes I put that it was unwavering support. Like, nobody said, girl, I told Maurice about Q, and I told you about Maurice and Q, and like, it was no I told you so. There was no questioning. It was literally just support, just hugs, just, girl, what you need a bath, what do you need? And the unwavering support that them girls gave her in this moment was top notch, and it was definitely admirable. Even for a TV show, it was definitely nice to see them just kind of rally around her and offer her support, because like I said, she's been through a whole lot of traumatic shit in just a few days. So that was very nice. Sabrina is still unsure about her future. Like, she's kind of taken aback by the situation still, which is to be expected. But of course, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, and we're gonna get home and get you showered. We're gonna get you settled, and go see what's going on with Karen and this baby. All right, so Zach goes to see the lawyer that Bryce recommended to him, and he explains the situation about Karen and Heather and the confirmed baby and the potential baby and everything else. And she tells him, like, listen, the truth is, with your income and then the assets tied up into your house, both women can request 50% of everything. And what that means is both of them. Like, Heather can request 50% and Karen can request 50%, which equals a whole. If you do the well, it's really not, because if Heather takes 50%, right, that means you only have 50% left. And then if Karen comes back and wants 50%, she can only get 50% of what's left of the original 50, just mathematically speaking. So what that means is 75% of what you have will be gone, and you be down to 25%, not 50 and 50, 100, but 75. I hope that makes sense. That's what makes sense to me. Like, okay, she took 50%. Now all you left is with 50. If Karen wants 50 more, it's 50% of the 50. So it's 20. So you're left with 25% of the overall amount. Tell me if I'm wrong, if my math is janky. Anyway, she suggests that, you know, he try to play. His best bet is to try to play friendly with the women and come up with an offer, you know, something that's going to make both of them happy, in order to avoid like court calls, you know, going through the whole court system with the thing. She told him, like, listen, my fees are very expensive. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm expensive, but I'm willing to work something out with you. You know, we'll work something out. You just do your part, and we'll figure it out. So, you know, Zach is in a bind. He in a bind, Nate, and he needs to figure out the best way to do this without going bankrupt, dealing with these two ladies. Hopefully Karen's baby ain't his, but by the end of this episode, I'm a little bit more sure that it's not. All right. So Sabrina gets home, and she tells him, like, the girls tell her, like, we'll be back after Karen's appointment. And Danny is just immediately inappropriate. She was telling Sabrina, like, girl, stay free. They can take your freedom, but they can't take your mind. Like, little motivational shit, but like cloaked in sarcasm. And so Sabrina's looking like, girl, it's too soon, and I don't have time. And so Calvin calls Sabrina after the girls leave, and he tells her like, Q, you know Q is the one that set you up. She's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, but he's here at the apartment and he won't leave. Da da da. And we'll do. She's like, listen, I'm gonna take a shower, but I'm about to head over there. Which, for the first time, in my opinion, this is the first time I've seen Sabrina like put her foot down in the entire 5 seasons and kind of, poke her chest out and, boss up on the dude and be like, listen, why are you doing this? So that's what's gonna come by the end of this episode. And I'm proud of her because we know she's very passive and, demure by nature, but she gonna speak up for herself, at least in this one instance. All right. So the girls make it to Karen's appointment before the doctor comes in, and so she's very nervous. But the girls tell her like, Sabrina's fine. We're good to go. We're gonna do all we can to help her. And then the doctor walks in, and the doctor tells us like, hey, it's not an exact science, but we're gonna estimate the baby to have been conceived around the 12th, not the 9th. And so Karen is like, not the 19th, the 12th. So she conceived closer to the 12th than the 19th. And so the doctors, again, they tell her they're pretty certain about the results. Otherwise, all her tests and vitals are great, and she could just ease back into her normal life. So that means, I don't remember what that means. All right. So if I remember correctly, tell me if I'm wrong, because it's possible. She slept with Aaron first, and then her and Zach had the little mishap in the little broom closet / office looking space soon after. So I think Aaron is that baby's daddy, which is why she said not the 19th, because I feel like she was banking on the 19th being it, so that baby can belong to Zach and she can kind of keep a little piece of Zach, even though she ain't with him no more. So I think Aaron is that baby's daddy. That's what I think now. I think, let me know if I'm wrong, but I think Aaron is that baby's daddy, which will definitely help Zach, help Fatima, help everybody. Hopefully that will absolve Zach and Fatima from anything they have to do with this, and they can just go off today. This is a team of life and deal with the drama that is over there, because drama is definitely already ensuing on that franchise. So yeah. All right. So we at Maurice's, and Q is just sitting there eating good in the neighborhood, honey, while Calvin is just seething with anger. He just looking at this dude like, if looks could kill, he'd be a dead bitch. Like, he just sitting there looking at him like he hates his entire existence. And then Sabrina shows up and she barges in, and Sabrina has rage and homicide on her brain. She is so mad, and she asks him like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, why would you lie to me? Why would you lie me to the cops? And he's just acting dumb. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking, like, being dumbfounded about the situation. And he got jokes. Oh, Maurice should like being in there. We know he like men and he get a hot meal, so he should be happy where he is. Just being real snide about the situation. And then he calls Sabrina, a B word, and she picks up one of the remaining golf clubs that he didn't get to sell off of Calvin's dad's and clocks his ass in the back of the head, as she should have. As Calvin should have a long time ago, but obviously Calvin can't goddamn fight. So Sabrina took matters into her own hand and knocked the shit out of Q with that golf club. Somehow he's able to wrestle the golf club away from Sabrina, and then Calvin picks it up. So he picks it up and he commits to hitting Q, but he don't stop. Like, he continues to thrash his ass, and he's hitting and he's hitting and he's hitting, and Sabrina is screaming like, listen, don't kill him now. We just want to get him off us. We ain't gonna kill him, but we'll see if he dead next episode. I wouldn't be opposed to him being dead, but we'll see how it goes next episode. All right, so finally, Calvin has effectively whooped some ass, so he needs to be equipped with a weapon at all times, because he ain't got them hands. He don't have them hands. And that's the more that episode. Next episode, Andy's gonna tell Robin about the hostile takeover. She did the right thing, so that's gonna, in my opinion, benefit her in the long run. Zach has been served with, official paperwork, so Heather's got the ball rolling on suing him for 50% of his crap. But Tima's going to try to set Hayden up with some kind of sexy decoy, hopefully to get more information to see what the hell he got plotting and planning. And Maurice is looking, his countenance has changed on signing off some paperwork to say Sabrina was the mastermind. Hopefully he changes his tune on that, but it's looking like he's trying to sign his paperwork so he can be free. But when you got 30 years looming over your head, you might be willing to sell anybody up the river. Anyway, that has been it for season 5 episode 11 of SISTAS on BET. Let me know what you think about the episode. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.